I had one guy in the seminar one time for 10 minutes, had his hand on his cheek, would not move his hand. I said, sir, I said to your chin. He said, this is my chin. 3 facelifts, he said, this is my chin. Why did you put your hand on your cheek when I said to your chin? Because in this case, you looked at me and did what I did, but you did not listen to me. It's called congruent behavior. We've got to listen, we've got to see, and we've got to speak, much like an orchestra can bring together 30, 40, 100 different musicians, each playing his or her instrument, but together making an incredible philharmonic sound that we're enamored by. That's what you and I have to do. We're going to communicate well. Speak, listen, observe. And the W stands for writing, by the way. We have to write well. How many of us write letters to other people and begin the letters? Ay, 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 ay. Begin the letters with the word I. Piece of advice from my heart to yours. Never again write a letter to anyone that you begin it with the word I. Dear Nido, I am happy that I got you this video and I am sending it to you today because I think it will help you. That's not a letter about Nido, that's a letter about you. Wouldn't it be better to say, Dear Nido, you'll be glad to know that this tape can change your life, comma, introduce you to an incredible opportunity, comma, make you feel good as you get rich. That's a letter I'm going to keep and reread. So I say to people, don't begin with the word I. Incidentally, pages 3 and 4 are exercises that you can do on your own. So now we go to page 5. Page 5. I just want to summarize a couple of things on page 5 and page 6. I mentioned some of those last time to you, but in the context of communication, I'll mention them very briefly today and we'll move on, because I really want to get to page 7. Let me, it just occurred to me that I'm not being very honest with you. And so, I got to be very honest with you. And this is serious. I have to be out of here today by 3:30. And I haven't even told Tony this, but I felt like you and I get along so well that I really haven't opened my heart to you completely. So I'm just going to say this in 10 seconds and move on. Not to bring any bad news this afternoon, but since I like you and I think you like me, then you know you need to know what's going on in my life. Since I've seen you last, regretfully, my wife has been diagnosed with breast cancer. And in the last 2 months, my life has been turned upside down. And we have 4 children at home. The youngest is 8. I know, you're surprised. But you shouldn't be. I mean, I got a closet of Starlight stuff, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, it's hard when you have 4 kids at home who struggle with their mom, struggling with breast cancer. She has lost all her hair, and she did go through 3 operations, and she's doing chemotherapy, and it's very traumatic, and I'm not staying away from home overnight. So I flew in this morning, and I'll fly back out in a few minutes. And I say that to you because well, I'm glad you agree with me. I say that to you because I wouldn't want you to think I'm being rude, that I just come in here and then jump out of here. You see me running out of here in a few minutes. And the reason I'm going back to the lectern is to look at my watch and make sure that I don't miss my airplane. The airlines and I have an agreement. It's been a long-standing contract. If I don't show up on time, they can leave without me. So, so let's go to page 5. But hey, we have a lot of faith. My wife is in a tremendous amount of peace. And I never knew I had so many friends in this world. She's gotten probably 1,500 letters and so on from people all over the world. And so many telephone calls, we had to hire extra people to handle just telephone lines. And I didn't take phone calls the last 2 months because I've just been so busy with other matters. And so it's really wonderful. Barbara Bush said something beautiful. She said, in this world of ours, here's what really counts. If you got faith, you got your family, you got your friends, you got it made. And in Starlight, you have bunches and bunches of friends, and you have one big, wonderful family. On page 5, success grows out of 4 things. I'm just going to give you those and jump over them. Number 1, a clear vision. A clear vision. You gotta know what it is you want out of life, otherwise it won't happen. You gotta have a clear vision. Number 2, I'm just gonna skip around some of these. Number 2, you gotta have a solid strategy. Go to page 6. Number 3, you have to have practical systems. And number 4, you have to have consistent execution. At some later date, I'll cover those in great detail. But for now, remember, where there is no vision, the people will perish. J.C. Penney, in his older years, said something beautiful. He said, although my eyesight may be dimming, my vision has never been greater. So number 1, you got to have a clear vision. Number 2, you got to have a solid strategy. Go over the next page now. Number 3, you have to have practical systems. And number 4, consistent execution. The greatest of ideas don't work unless you have consistent execution. All right, page 7. Page 7 makes a very important point. You really want to know how to communicate effectively with people? You really want to know how to recruit more people? You really want to know how to get more retail customers for your wonderful Starlight products? Here's the answer. It doesn't matter how much you know. It doesn't matter how much you know. It doesn't matter what it is that you can do. You know why? Because both of those are minimum requirements. If you didn't know a lot and you couldn't do a lot, you wouldn't get paid for doing it. Big deal. Knowing your stuff and doing it well are minimum requirements for a professional. Here's what does matter. How other people and what other people believe and perceive we can do for them. Nobody wants to buy pills in a bottle. Everybody wants to buy energy and youthfulness and good health. So that's what positioning is all about. How do you position yourself? 5 quick ways. Number 1, first in your own mind. You position yourself first in your own mind. Harvard University says, just came up with a study that says that 1 out of every 3 Americans, this is a terrible study, I can't believe that they would do this. It was a government-paid study from your tax dollars. They concluded that 1 out of every 3 Americans is ugly. Now, Tony, wherever you are, please take a note of this, because I'd like to really send back a message to Harvard. Perhaps you can fax it to them tonight and tell them that we did a little study here and that they're wrong, by golly. They said 1 of every 3 Americans is ugly. Take a good look at the person to your right, will you please? Take a good look at the person to your left, will you please? Now, listen to me. If those 2 looked okay to you... Okay, forgive me, that was silly, I admit it. The truth is, there is no ugly person here. Here's why. Ugly is only the way you feel about yourself. If you feel ugly, you'll act ugly. What we gotta do is walk with confidence. First, you position yourself in your own mind. As a person thinketh in his visceral, the Bible says, so is he, so is she. Garbage in, garbage out, good things in, good things out. In my poorest days, I was poor in my pocketbook, I can honestly say to you, I was never poor in my spirit. My mother saw to it. My mother, with 4th grade education, saw to it that being poor is a temporary state for those who are doing something about it. Yes, first in your own mind. Secondly, you position yourself with your attitude. You position yourself with your attitude. Thirdly, you position yourself with your appearance. You position yourself with your appearance. Here's a question I'll ask you about appearance. When people look at you, what do they see? Do they see a smart person? Do they see a dumb person? Do they see a committed person? Do they see a tentative person? Do they see a happy person? Do they see a sad person? Do they see a passionate person? Or do they see a bored, unenthusiastic person? Second question, what is it you want them to see? How is it you want them to see you? Because you see, if they're not seeing you the way that you want them to see you, you're mispositioning yourself when you least need to do that. Now, I've told you earlier, I've written many books, many cassettes, and many videos, and ask for them through Starlight. They should be available through the magazine, through Starlight, so you give Tony hell. Say, Tony, I want Nito stuff, by golly, Tony. All right. All right, Tony. Get your act together, Tony. Okay, I have wonderful materials. I really do, and I'll tell you why. Because every book I've ever written and every cassette I've ever recorded came from my experience in life. I don't go to the library and research stuff. It came from the experience of an immigrant who came to America with nothing in his pocket, no language on his tongue, and no connections to open any doors for him. And by working hard and smart and by the grace of God and good friends that I hung around, I was able to build something in my life. It's those strategies that I learned that I expound upon in my own material. Let me tell you something. Number 4, you position yourself with your words. You position yourself with your words. You position yourself with your words. Unfortunately, there are people who will still use very tentative words. Ask this question. This is a powerful question. I ask me this question every day. Why should this audience listen to me today? Why should you listen to me, and why now? Why should this person with whom you are talking about, Starlight, listen to you? And why should they listen to you now? Can you see how by asking that question, you focus on the person and their needs and fears and aspirations and wishes, and you become better with your words? I know people who use words like I think, or I might, or I'll try. I even know a guy who says, I think I might be able to try. Get rid of negative words. Adopt in your life positive words. Now, I'm going to tell you a story, and I'm going to skip the other blanks. The rest of the material you can read all on your own, because a lot of it, there's more stuff there to read than you'd want to read anytime soon, so you got a lot of stuff. These blanks, don't worry about them. We'll cover them some other time, and maybe I'll write an article and cover them in there. I've covered the most important stuff, but I got to end with this story because it's more fun than anything I can really put for you on the notes. So listen to this story. When it's all said and done, the only thing that really matters in your life or mine is your attitude. You got the right attitude, you'll get the knowledge. You'll read the books. You'll listen to the tapes. You'll watch the videos. You'll attend the seminars. You'll hang around brilliant and smart people. I'm not worried about you. It's the person who doesn't have the good attitude that gets messed up. Great story. Guy flying from Pittsburgh down to Atlanta, Friday afternoon. Negative guy. Never been to a Starlight conference. complaining about everything. Life and living, God and the angels, the president and the economy, his wife and his children, his work and his company, everything he was complaining about. They served dinner on the plane. Dinner wasn't much, it was a sandwich. Everybody ate the sandwich, and thank God Almighty that we had something to eat in this country, but not this dude. Oh no, not this dude. This dude reached out to the little bell above him, and he went ding ding, ring ring, ring ding, some more, till the flight attendant came running down the aisle. Sir, she said, is there an emergency? Is there a problem? Can I help you in some way? He said, yes ma'am. He said, this is a bad sandwich. Flight attendant picked up the sandwich with her left hand, looked at it, and she went, bad sandwich, bad sandwich. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't care how busy I was. If I were on that plane, I would have stayed on the plane till every last passenger got off. I would have wanted to interview this flight attendant. I would have wanted to say to him, man, I gotta know, how did you think of this wonderful activity? I mean, the guy was a jerk. And I could just hear the flight attendant saying to me, oh, well, I've been doing this a long time. I don't occupy my mind with that which is negative or pessimistic. When the guy told me that was a bad sandwich, I could have said to him, sir, you don't like this sandwich? Let me tell you what you can do with this sandwich. And from the looks of things, sir, it would fit just perfectly. I can hear her now saying, oh, had I done so, I would have dragged my way back to the galley. And the people, my friends, my colleagues would say, what are you so mad about? And I would say, oh, God, I hate this job. Thank God it's Friday. I can't wait till I retire. I've had it up to here with all these dumb passengers. Instead, can't you just see what she did? I could just hear her say, oh, man, sure, I could have told him to stuff the sandwich. I could have told him, if you don't like this airplane, sir, we don't need your business anymore. And if you don't like this flight, no sweat. Do you see the exit sign over there? Instead, she was going back to the galley, running, having a difficult time holding back her laughter. And when her friend said, what in the world is the matter? She said, you won't believe what I just did. And her friends would say, what did you just do? And she'd say, I just beat the hell out of a sandwich.